Carl, and this is the video for my convolutional neural network for CS50 AI. Now, during my first trial, I got an error while setting my TensorFlow layers because I forgot to use the flatten layer. Now, then for the second trial, I included the flatten layer, and this was the setup for my neural network. For the results, I got 2.3 in loss and accuracy only 25%. So what I did next on my next trial is to add convolutional layers, an additional convolutional layer, and a max pooling layer. By doing this, unfortunately, my accuracy decreased to only 5%. So I realized that maybe this is not the way. For my next trial, I removed those convolutional and max pooling layer, and instead I added more hidden layers. I also changed the number of units, and I set a dropout of 20% per layer. For this setup, the results were pretty good. 0.9 in loss and an accuracy of 68%. Still not good enough. For my next trial, I increased the number of hidden layers. I said, okay, I added 2 before. This time I'm going to add 6 more. Let's see how it affects the accuracy. The accuracy went down almost by half, up to 37.79%. Then I thought maybe it's not about the hidden layers. So for my next trial, I just reduced the number of hidden layers to 3, and I changed the dropout. Here I got a very high accuracy of 84%. So I thought maybe this is going properly, in a proper way. For the next trial, I just modified the properties, the parameters of my convolutional layer. I changed the number of filters, the kernel size, and the strides. Also the max pool layer, I changed the size of it. So the accuracy went up a little bit, only up to 87%. I thought, okay, this is good, but I'm sure it can be better. So for my next trial, what I did is just change the dropout. I wanted to test what if I don't use any dropout at all. So here my accuracy went up to 94%. However, during the training, I noticed that the loss was increasing for at least one epoch. So it was a sign of overfitting. Maybe my model was overfitting here. Therefore, for my next trial, I decided to keep the dropout and just change the number of filters in my convolutional layer. This way I got still a very high accuracy and a very low loss compared to the previous results. So this is much more accurate than the previous setup. Then finally, for my last trial, I decided to add 2 more hidden layers and just keep 2 of them with a dropout of 10%. I kept the parameters for the convolutional layer and the max pooling layer, and I got an accuracy of 95% with a very low loss. So I was very satisfied by this model, and then I arrived to my conclusions. I think it is important to find a balance between number of units in hidden layers and the number of hidden layers to use. The accuracy increase during training must be proportional to the loss decrease. So we must always look out for this. Like if the accuracy is like very high, it doesn't always mean the model is better, because we could be overfitting it. So adding convolutional and pooling layers, as I have noticed, has an effect on the model accuracy, but it can increase the speed and resource management. Now I will run it here. All right. Let's see. It will run through 10 epochs, and I will be checking the accuracy. Alright, it started with a 34 accuracy and a loss of 3. The loss is decreasing and the accuracy is increasing. Now we observe the loss is further decreasing with the accuracy increasing. But now it's not a big leap or a big difference from previous epochs. Alright, 83% accuracy going up to, but this time we can observe that the loss is still decreasing at a slower rate. So far we have reached the 0.4. And finally I have an overall accuracy of, in the training process, 87%.